It's wonderful. All right. So thank you again for everybody for being here. Now that we have started our recording, I want to take a minute just to tell the group about Live in case you are not familiar with the conference that we're hosting. Also about why these speakers are here and why they're sharing their information today. So DynamicsCon Live this year is going to be held in September 14th through the 16th in San Antonio, Texas at the Hyatt Regency Hill Country Resort and Spa. It's a beautiful, beautiful venue. This is a 2.5-day event. We've got some networking and a reception on Wednesday evening. Everything kicks off on Wednesday around 5:30 in the evening. Thursday and Friday are going to be 2 full days of content. We have lots of great content across all of the tracks with 60 confirmed speakers. We have our event this year is going to be an intimate event with approximately 500 community members spread across this beautiful resort and taking up all the space that we would like. Also, the registration for this 2.5-day event is an all-inclusive ticket price of $500 per attendee. This includes your educational sessions, your social networking, food, and also some beverages throughout the course of the few days. Here is a more detailed schedule as far as what we are looking at, how your day would shake out for Thursday and Friday. You can also find our full detailed agenda with session titles, descriptions, and the speakers located on the website. And I believe we'll have that up for you here in the chat so you can take a look over there. The venue itself is about a 40-minute ride with traffic from the San Antonio airport. Without traffic, it's about 20 minutes, so not terrible. We do recommend using Uber or Lyft to travel to and from the hotel. On site, of course, this is located on a ranch just outside of San Antonio, Texas, so there's lots of open spaces. They do have 2 golf courses there on the property, also a couple pools, the resort, so you can book your massage for either on your way in or on your way out. Me personally, I'm excited about the Flow Rider wave machine. So that's what even though it's September, it's still going to be hot in Texas for me.
Oh, yeah.
The area attractions, we've got SeaWorld, Six Flags that are very close to the property itself. You're only about 30 minutes from the Riverwalk and the Alamo down towards closer to downtown San Antonio. So there's lots of options to explore if you choose to stay a little longer and enjoy the city or the state. And a great big shout out, thank you to all of our sponsors that make this event happen for us. Without their support, we would not be able to have such a fun event and bring it to you, our community, at an affordable cost. And there's a little bit more information about the sessions that we have for the GP and the Power Platform track, the track. So you've got a list of those out there, and you'll also have access to this PowerPoint after the meeting. And if you feel like registering today, you can go to live.dynamicscon.com, register, enter in community 75, and you will save $75 off of your ticket price. And with that, I am going to turn everything over to Bob and let him take it over.
All right, Denise, thanks very much. Thanks, everyone. Glad you're here today. We are here to talk Dynamics GP and Power Platform for DynamicsCon Live this September in San Antonio, okay? There will be lots of really superb speakers at this show, but the GP and Power Platform is the only fully integrated track at DynamicsCon Live, okay? Those other guys just can't say that. So we're here to welcome you and give you a quick preview from 4 of our subject matter experts about what's coming in San Antonio starting on Thursday, September 15th. So as Denise said just a moment ago, the event runs September 14th through the 16th. Wednesday, the 14th is your day to register, or I'm sorry, check in, and then also attend an advanced networking opportunity. For many of us, it's been a long time since we had that opportunity. And then on Thursday and Friday are 2 days of educational sessions across Microsoft Dynamics GP and Microsoft Power Platform. So today, to preview 4 of those sessions, we've got 4 subject matter experts, all of whom I'm pleased to call friends, to preview their session for you so you know exactly what to expect as you register between now and hopefully end of the month. Okay, let's get registered, let's get signed up and make sure that we're all there for this fabulous community event. So today I'm pleased to welcome the training dynamo herself, Amber Bell. Amber, how are you today?
I'm unmuted is how I am. I was making sure. I was like, hit the button, hit the button. I'm doing well. Is it time for me to talk about my session, or did you want to say more about everybody else?
I'm just going to introduce the others and then I will get to you first. How about that?
Okay, sounds good.
Fair enough. David Laster from Greyvock is here. David, good day. How are you?
Always lovely to see you, Bob, and thanks for having me be involved with this today. I hope nobody books their massage during my session in
No
San
way.
Antonio. So
We're making sure
be
that
careful
that
there.
part of the resort is closed while you're speaking, because of course it's going to be very, very good.
All right, perfect.
Mary Myers is here. Hey, Mary, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Very good. So glad you're here. And our 4th presenter, Joe DeRuyter. I don't think Joe is in yet. She had a fire to put out, but she will be joining us shortly to go over what it is that she's going to talk about. So thanks to all of you for coming in today and giving us a preview of what's coming forward. So looking on the agenda page at on the DynamicsCon live event, you'll see that the first person to go on Thursday in the Dynamics GP and Power Platform track is none other than Amber Bell. And Amber will be doing her GP user to GP superhero session, redone for 2022, right? You've never done the same superhero session twice, right? You're always updating it. It's never the same thing twice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what have you got cooking for us here, Amber, on the morning of Thursday, September 15th?
I will share my little slide.
Okay. I'm
So
sure there's
it's
tons
gonna
of
be
information on here.
again. Well, it was supposed to be a teaser slide to tell you what is going to be at my session. So there will be definitely tips, there'll be tricks, there'll be demos, and plenty of Pee-wee's Big Adventure jokes. So anybody who doesn't know, you haven't watched that movie since you were a child, it was set part when he was looking for his bike in San Antonio. So I am definitely going to the Alamo to try to find the basement. So that's just my own personal thing out there. But I am what I'm planning to do is every time I plan for these, this is actually going to be my first in-person since all the craziness happened. So you guys are going to get me fresh after a couple years of remote and virtual and DynamicsCon, virtual events and all of that. So I'm gonna have a lot of really cool tips that really I take them from customers I've worked with. So recently just finding customers that are having an issue with updating information, or why does a report go this way, or can we move something around, or how do we handle this, or how are SQL reports working. So I go through that list and I'm pulling out the best ones that I've hit, and also some ones that just in a different way, maybe a tip I've shown before, but showing how that learning that one thing can apply to all different stuff. So I'm keeping it vague on purpose because there's a lot to show you, but really every time I've done this session, I get a lot of really good feedback, and people say they're able to use those tips when they get home. So I'm really excited to share it with everyone at DynamicsCon Live.
Excellent. So let me ask you this. By the time we get to San Antonio for your session on Thursday morning, September 15th at 9 a.m. Central Time, we will be only a couple of weeks out from a new release of Dynamics GP, which almost always hits around that first week of October.
Yeah.
Any chance that you'll have something brand new in that mix that we don't know about?
I'm not making any promises, but if I can, that's always a goal. So I will be, looks like Joe's coming in too. So yeah, my goal is to always include the latest and greatest if I can. So if I can get my stuff installed, or at least tell you guys what's coming, I will be trying to include that as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So for people,
I wanted to tell you guys one thing. I did the math, but then the coupon ruined me. It's $500. There's 500 people. So you get $1 per person, new contact you've made. So who's going to give you a great contact for $1? Nobody else.
That's exactly right. That's
Yeah, it's
exactly
less
right.
than $1. Less than $1.
Right. With inflation, it's less than $1. No
Well,
doubt
so
about
use
it.
coupon. Use your coupon code. Then you get less than $1. So
Excellent. So your description here says you'll be moving faster than a speeding bullet and more powerful than a locomotive.
yes.
Does that mean that beginners or those that have just started working for their companies that leverage Dynamics GP, this is not for them? Or is it
No, it's
also
for
for newer
everybody.
folks as well?
Yeah, it's for everybody. And so what I found is that there's a lot of things that are inside of GP that people will learn how to do the basics, and then they stick with what they do, and they're not running efficiently, or they are brand new and they don't know what they're doing, and they get sent to the event to pick up as much as they can. So my goal is to make it something where if you've used GP for a while, there might be one or two that you go, oh, I know how to do that. And you can help people if they're having questions, or that's a great way to network. If you say that, I bet you anything someone will grab you and say, then tell me how you guys use it at your company. If it's new to you, then it's a great way for you to hear how it's being used at other companies. Because I do include, I include things that I've used with customers for the past. I've done GP for 20 years, so I include things that have saved the day for customers for years and years, and make it easier and better to get not just data in. That's one of the things I want to cover, but also getting data out using things like the live Excel tool, reporting, using SQL reports. I try to use as many of those features as possible.
Excellent. And I agree. A lot of people want to make sure they've got the process right to get the data into the database, into the application properly. But of course, they want good, timely, efficient reporting as well. And that is often just as important, if not more so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Amber, we are looking forward to GP User, to GP Superhero, the 2022 version. First time in person in like 3 years from you on Thursday, September 14th at 9 o'clock to kick off the educational session in the only fully integrated track at DynamicsCon Live. So thank you very much.
Looking forward to seeing everybody.
Likewise. Okay. All right. Well, about an hour and 10 minutes after Amber razzle dazzles everybody with her knowledge around Dynamics GP, my friend David Laster from Greyvoc will come out and perform 7, not 2 or 3, but 7 Power BI reports you need for your Dynamics GP users. David, 7 reports in 50 minutes is not a lot of time. How are you going to pull this off? And what can we expect from you?
Excellent question. In fact, I'm having a little apprehension about the number 7, but I'll give you a reason why. This is the preview session, right? But
that's right.
I think I can probably get through all those questions here, and maybe a little more. So 7 sessions, right? We had to come up with an idea, and the problem with using Power BI and knowing Great Plains is that I'm never out of ideas. So part of the opportunity to come and present to end users in this track got me really started right away. I started right away, a couple of nights, a couple of weekends, really starting to think about things I've never created in Power BI for Great Plains before that end users really are going to want to have. So I started to create and fill in some holes. But as you know, as you've always been a huge encouragement to me over the years for these type of presentations, is that one of the first things that I presented that I really created for the Great Plains world was the GP system administrator. And there's a number of tips and tricks in the system administrator that I'd like to talk about how I got them, why I use them, where they come from, and maybe that will help administrative type folks in their dashboard endeavors. I have a security analyzer. I've been fortunate enough to present what this is at DynamicsCon in the past on the recorded sessions, and this is one way of looking at your GP data that you don't get natively out of Great Plains. You're using Power BI, so it can see things you really can't see otherwise. Years ago, I co-presented on payroll, analyzing payroll, right? The payroll posting matrix. It can get pretty gnarly and hairy in there, depending on how large your payroll system is. But Power BI, looking at that, really kind of surfaces information that might be helpful to know about. My ideas, as you can see, there's quite a few of them. I've presented on a bad data detector. These are all those SQL scripts that we run to try to find phantom apply records and receivables management and so forth. They're all coagulated inside of one Power BI dashboard right now. So these are some of the things I'll be liking to share with everybody. I also created some accounts and financials dashboards, some matrix dashboards, some chart of accounts analysis dashboards, payroll and AP, purchasing, purchase orders, receipts, quantities. There's so much rich information depending on what you're using inside of Dynamics Great Plains. Started to venture over into sales and sales order processing and orders and holds, right? There's a lot of rich information that you don't necessarily want to log into GP or consumer GP user license to find out. Power BI gives us the ability to go find and surface the information without having to log into GP. We also have inventory and manufacturing. I'm guessing at this point across these 8 reports, I now have over 100 dashboards. So you said 7 at the beginning, and
Yep.
Amber was kind of pinged about the what's new piece, right? Are we going to get any sneak peeks? I also, literally, this is breaking news, Bob.
Wow. Wow.
As of yesterday, I have in collaboration with Aubrey Gilman over the years created this massive what's new spreadsheet, and we also have this Power BI report that has now been finalized and it's available for free download. So I have this as a choice as well. Imagine looking at new features in Dynamics GP through Power BI. So there's some information there to choose from. 100 dashboards and reports. I'm not quite sure what to do. As you can see, we got a couple weeks, couple months maybe to thin this down a little bit. But my goal here is to show end users that are present in the classroom that day how and why. How can we tell a story? How can we find what we don't know? How can we leverage the power of Power BI at least to solve some really interesting reporting questions and problems that we all have and we may not have the answers to.
Wow, that's great stuff. And thank you for the compliment, by the way.
Sure.
I've never heard of bad data in an ERP system. That would be a fascinating report to see. That one I'm really looking forward to.
Well, thank you. I will hopefully show a number of those items in there.
So when it comes to integrating Power BI with Dynamics GP, one, this is what our planning committee wanted really was we were going to have these 2 application areas integrate together. We wanted to make sure we had a little bit of both and then maybe a couple of sessions that tie both sides of the fence together. So you and Mariano are both doing Power Platform related sessions tying back to Dynamics GP data sets. And this is great for Dynamics GP end user companies that maybe aren't sure or want to get going on Power BI, not sure how to get started. Are they going to have a lot of work put in on the front end before they come to your session? Or is this the kind of thing that you've written and it's plug in and people can begin using it right away?
Excellent question. Mariano has taught me so much about Power BI. It's unbelievable. Big motivating factor, as is Belinda Allen. But
Yeah.
you can come to this class, and as long as you're aware of what Power BI is, even if you've never logged in or downloaded it, you're going to walk away. Actually, you'll probably download it during one of the session breaks because you're not going to want to wait very long. Some of the dashboards I have are plug and play. Some of the dashboards are examples essentially of embodied SQL queries. So if you can think of a query, even Victoria Uden has a lot of free resources out there. You create a SQL view, it's an object, and it's the thought process of thinking how you're going to solve the problem. I used to work on cars, and you always have to be smarter than the bolt you're working on. Okay, in order to get to that tight spot. And sometimes Power BI just has the ability to do that.
Excellent. Well, that sounds really good, really comprehensive. And I would dare say with the new stuff that you've been working on with Abra, it's going to, cause Amber to step it up a little bit, I'd say.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see the new features and share them.
All right, David, thank you so much. So next up is Mary Myers. And Mary, it was you and me and the aforementioned Belinda Allen and the aforementioned Mariano Gomez who put this track together. So thank you for all of your help in helping make this GP and Power Platform track a reality, the only integrated track at DynamicsCon Live. We've got some great speakers on that list both days. You're on the list, I think, twice for the Dynamics GP and Power Platform track. Am I correct?
That is correct. I think I still owe Molly a official updated title to make it to the website. But yeah, I'll be doing 2 different sessions covering the Power Platform track.
What are you going to preview for us today on that second day of full education, Friday, September 16th?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're going to cover is how to integrate Power Automate with your e-commerce platform. And what's kind of cool about this is, one, it's kind of interesting to me to be sitting here in the GP track, because I don't do GP. I've never been doing GP. I think I've opened the platform like twice, right? I'm a BC. I'm kind of like a BC girl turned power platform. Now I straddle both of those lines. But one of the things that I really love about the Power Platform, and honestly how this session even fits in with GP, even though I don't know anything about it, is that it's still SQL Server based, right? And
Yep.
so that's one of the things that we'll take a look at in this session, is that it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, a native connector. Obviously, there's a new Shopify connector. Maybe some people have heard about going into Business Central, but there's other ways to connect, right? You don't have to be on Business Central, and you don't have to be on Shopify. You can be on GP. You can be using Magento. You can be using a whole bunch of other different services. And we're going to talk about how to connect to those. Let's see, can I find my little button? Yeah. So these are kind of some of the sessions that we're going to talk about. I do this on a, you know, on a day-to-day basis. I run a company where I'm taking Power Platform solutions and helping SMBs kind of automate their processes. So I always like to help partners start with best practices, right? Because before we want to make the solutions and how to integrate, that's all really, really great, but there's some trouble that you can get yourself into. So I always kind of like to start with some do's and don'ts, right? You know, if this is kind of new to you, or, you know, just sharing, right? So that's the great thing about community, and why we're all here to learn from each other anyways. So I'm going to share my tips and tricks and best practices. Maybe others will have, you know, some to share as well. I'm also going to talk about like kind of what's happening in that process, that like structure, right? The architectural components of what's going on. Getting a little bit techie, I know. We won't go into this session. It's not very interesting to everyone, but there are people out there that are really into this stuff, like myself. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person. You know, we'll find out in my session. And you guys, please come to my session, because if I'm the only one in there, I'm going to be really embarrassed. Like, it's just not going to be cool. So if you guys can please just help me. Maybe I'll take those 20 cents, and I will make the extra 20 cents worth it somewhere in the math that Amber's giving us. I don't know if I'm allowed to bribe people or not, but here we are, y'all. So we'll talk about the functionality of what's happening there. But then also I kind of call them like templates, right? Because what I hope that people can walk away with at the end of my session is, okay, I do want to integrate either my CRM or my ERP. What do I need to do? How do I get started? There's not a template in the system. I'm not telling you that when you're going to walk away, you're going to email me and say, can you email me that template? No, but you'll have your phone out and you'll take your screenshots, and that's cool too. But what I mean from that is, like, you'll know the basics, right? Like, what do we need to cover? We need to have items, we need to have customers, we need to have orders, right? And kind of depending on those different things, you know, does your ERP system have headers and lines, you know, or is it just, you know, booking into cards? We'll talk about those types of different things, so that I hope that whenever you go back home, you can say, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do, and at least get started. And if you get lost, you know where to find us for help. So that's what I hope to cover in that session. And then now, again, like I said, this is a little bit more, you know, in depth. I'm not going to say that this is, you know, your 101 level, right? But if you are new to Power Automate, right, and you're like, man, I'm more of a 101 level, that's cool. That's the other session that I'm going to cover. And I really love covering the entry level stuff, because in case you haven't noticed already, I don't have a very large technical vocabulary. So I'm really great for your entry level people. I like to make it sound really easy. If I can do it, you can too. And so that's kind of like the concept of my entry level, Power Automate session. So if you've heard about it, or if you've never heard about it and you're wondering what it is and simply how to get started, and you're like, I am not a technical person, don't worry. 4 years ago, I wasn't either. And now I am. So again, if I can do it, you can do it. So those are the sessions that I'm going to cover, Bob.
That's awesome, Mary. So you're going to be doing an introductory Power Automate session and one that's a little more advanced, talking about Power Automate and e-commerce. You'll have templates for ERP and CRM, and you participated in the planning committee to put this whole track together with me, Mariano, and Belinda. Is that all? Did I get it?
No.
Everything?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
There's one more thing. I will
One more
actually
thing?
go ahead. Yeah, I've been on phone calls all day with our lovely Doug team. So on the second night, right? So I don't even know. You're the date man, Bob. So what's the second night? The first official night, not the soft reception night, but the next night,
Right.
the reception is a Women in Dynamics reception. It is being hosted by Women in Dynamics. And so actually myself and Terry Payetz will be leading that. And we'll also have Kristen Hussman and Shannon Mullins will be there as well. So we'll also have that I'll be hosting as well. So be really busy.
The community section you're talking about is on the second date there, which is Thursday, the 15th. Sponsored by Women in Dynamics, and it begins at 5 o'clock Central. So you've got your hands in that as well.
Yes.
Boy, they've got you. Mary Myers might be the busiest person at DynamicsCon Live. Molly, are you listening? Mary might be the busiest person. Who knows? Well, thank you, Mary. Your contributions are greatly appreciated. All 10,317 of them. And we look forward to learning more about Power Automate from you on that Friday, the 16th of September. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Joe, are you out there? Joe the writer?
Here I am.
All right. I know you had a fire to put out earlier and you were a wee bit late, but that's okay. You're just in time to tell us what you're going to be up to on that Friday, September 16th. Your session is Little Known Modules in Dynamics GP. You own it, you use it. You'll be talking at 1 o'clock Central Time on Friday, immediately following lunch. And you've got a very long list of stuff that people own license-wise, but oftentimes have no idea that they own it and really don't have any idea how they use it.
Yes, sir. So when you install GP, you make decisions about what to install. Sometimes you don't register for everything. So in my 20 some odd years with GP, I have routinely heard, I wish GP did this. I wish GP did that. Well, the answer generally was it does do that. You just have to install it. But GP comes with a starter pack. And so I'm really discussing the starter pack, the base GP program. But in it exists several modules that we're going to go in depth on, including automatic revenue and expense deferrals, the entire e-banking suite we're going to discuss, which includes what many banks call safe pay, but could be called positive pay, and how to e-reconcile. And we're going to talk about how to put together a bill of materials without installing or buying full manufacturing. And we're going to talk about setting up your inventory so that the POs, you can use a PO generator, which will suggest what you need to keep your inventory stocked up. We'll also discuss landed cost and account level and field level security and a couple more things. But it's all the base module, no additional cost. And these things can really, help lighten your load, if you will.
Yeah, someone could come to your session on Friday at 1 o'clock, become an expert on, say, field level security or revenue and expense deferrals, go back to their office, be train the trainer, if you will, educate their colleagues and say, gee, the cost of your going to San Antonio has been paid for by the tips and tricks you brought home from Joe's session that second day, Friday the 16th at 1 o'clock. And you have a lot of stuff in there that I've either used in the past or long since forgotten how to use, and certainly get a lot of, especially like the electronic bank rec stuff. That that stuff's the kind of thing that can be done weekly or daily and save people a lot of time and headaches too.
Exactly. Exactly. And you always make things sound so much better than I do. So thank you for your synopsis as well.
Well, I've been in the trenches. Those were the old days, and where you were right. People are like, oh, I wish GP would do this or that or the other thing. And then you spend time either researching it or the answer already and you help them out. And then they become better users. And then they start attending sessions that you and Amber and David and Mary are holding. So they become well-rounded end users across Microsoft Dynamics and Microsoft Power Platform. And that is what we are aiming for here at DynamicsCon and at the Dynamics user group. So thank you, Joe. Looking forward to your session as well. I know you've done that one
very
before,
excited.
and it's a good one. So thank you again. All right, Denise, we have interrogated the 4 subject matter experts to the best of my ability. They are all ready to go. If DynamicsCon Live was being held tomorrow, they would all be ready to go and present and make everybody who attends their sessions smarter than when they showed up.
I 100% agree. I feel like I'm smarter after this 30 minutes together. I think I can maybe, to Mary's point a little earlier, talk the talk just a little bit more than I did when I started.
Okay, well, there's a quiz now since we're still recording. So here I go.
Oh, don't, not for real.
Just kidding. We're all looking forward to showing up in San Antonio the evening of September 14th, advancing our networking opportunities, and then diving in to 2 consecutive days of really good learning with solid speakers. The list of presenters is excellent. I know most of them, and they're all really good at what they do. So if people aren't registered yet, they need to get registered today and spend some time in Texas getting smarter on all things Microsoft ERP and Power Platform.
We agree. Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much
You're
to
welcome.
Joe, David, Amber, and Mary. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, and to our audience who chose to join us. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We're here. If you need assistance on finding where to put that promo code in, I can help you. I will happily help you. It's a tricky booger.
Wait, Denise, I just want to say one thing. You guys talked a lot about all the great things that are there at the event, but you're missing the giant green backyard on the property, right? How many holes is the golf course?
So
right? Just
there
because
are,
Bob doesn't play, he's trying to pretend
Right.
like it's not cool because he can't go out there. You can ride in my cart, Bob. I'm gonna play golf. Just throwing out there, it's like 27 holes or something, right?
yes, there are, I believe it's 2 different courses, and there's a total of 27 holes. It's a beautiful property. Bring your
Yep.
clubs, plan to rent. We've got
I'm
a
playing
fierce
early the
adventure.
day before. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to fly in. I'm going to play some golf. I'm going to go to the reception. It's going to be a great day. So anyone else, that's what I'm doing.
Look, I always birdie the 19th hole. Don't you worry.
I believe that. I believe that.
Every time, Bob, we can count on you every time.
So that's all. I just wanted to make sure that we were, broadcasting all of those things just because Bob's over there being biased, right?
Yeah, right. It's all about the learning and the advanced networking opportunities on the golf course or at the event.
Yeah, there is.
That's right.
Yes.
We want to say a special thank you to Bob McAdam as well for being our wonderful track MC for this session too. For those of you who came on a little late, I did get a private message from a couple of you as well. This full session is recorded, and we will have an email sent to you with that link, and it'll also be on our YouTube channel within the next day or so. So if you missed anything in the beginning, you can make sure to catch everything that Bob was saying, which you never want to miss because it's always entertaining. And then if you missed anything from Amber's session as she kicked us off. So thank you, Bob.
You're welcome, Molly. My pleasure.
Well,
Thanks,
excellent.
everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming,
Bye.
and we'll see you in San Antonio in September.